What is up, guys? So I am walking once again in another park. You're going to recognize it when we reach your destination. And so today I thought I'd do a video about when we think we are better and no more than the gods. So being in the spiritual practice for many years, I know one thing, and that is that we like to proclaim that we are better than mainstream religion. We are more accepting and friendly, and we turn no one down. And I've also know one more thing about it, and that is a false truth. So when do we think we know more than or know better than the gods? That happens, I see quite often. It's when people leave the spiritual path. It's when they leave Hellenic polytheism and paganism for one reason or the other. It could be because of the saturation of the mainstream religion in their area, the pressures they feel to convert back to mainstream. It could be no answers for the questions they have. Or it could just be a time where they need to go back. They're not yet ready to follow the gods. But like I said, there's one thing I noticed is that we seem to be all accepting and all loving until one of ours leaves and goes to another mainstream religion. So people, us as humans, we don't know what the other person is going through in their life. And we're quick to judgment. And we judge whether we say we do or don't, we do. So there was a time that I myself started my path on Hellenic polytheism. I came from a mainstream religion, grew up in a mainstream religion, and had a lot of questions about Hellenic polytheism because I felt drawn to it. This was years ago. And this is a first-hand account of people thinking that they are better than the gods and rejecting me when the gods didn't. And I'll tell you the story. We all know how it ends. So my story is that, I started Hellenic polytheism, and eventually, for one reason or the other, I don't remember, I went back to Christianity. I think it was the pressures of life, of personal reasons I won't actually say at the time. This is back when I was brand new to Hellenic polytheism. So when I originally joined the Facebook group, everyone was accepting and warm and loving. But when I left, because I converted back to a mainstream religion, they lost contact with me. Wanted nothing to do with me, and I was by myself. But it was just a couple of months had passed that I realized that the gods and what we call Hellenic polytheism was my spiritual path that was right for me. So I tried to go back to this Facebook group and join, and I was met with nothing but condemnation. Nothing but saying I was a traitor and there was a betrayal. So where's the open arms and love? Where is the open-mindedness is what I want to know. And it was nothing but closed-mindedness. No forgiveness. So like I said, it's a lie to say that we are all open and forgiving. It's a lie. We're open and forgiving unless something happens and you leave for one reason or another and then come back. And that's where we fail, where mainstream religion succeeds. In mainstream religion, they accept those that were lost or went out into the world or left the religion and came back. They accept it, and they accept people. Not us though, not everyone. There are some that do, But I've noticed that there are some that don't, and that is what this video is about. The ones that don't accept someone who comes back. And so the story goes even further. So I came back to the Facebook group, and only to be again met with betrayal or saying I'm a traitor. Even though I came back and I explained myself, there were closed ears. So much so that I was eventually kicked out for no reason by the mods and the admin of that Facebook group. When I had done nothing wrong other than ask questions and say I was back and I was ready to learn, there was no forgiveness. Nothing but being booted and hidden away, literally. So they booted me out, and they set the setting of the page to where I couldn't even find it to rejoin if I wanted to. So I know that because I went on another account just to see, because you type in this Facebook page, it wasn't showing up for me anymore. But on my friend's account, when I typed it in, there it was. So they hid the group for me. That's loving and friendly, isn't it? That's loving and friendly. So that's when we think that we're better than the gods, is that and that's when we fail as a spiritual path. Like I said, it's not everyone, but it's definitely a group of people that feel that way. That there is no forgiveness once you leave, and I've seen that firsthand. So people didn't forgive me, but the gods did. The gods were still there. And not long after that, a few months to a year after I was kicked and booted out of the group, I found and started Pick the Pagan. And look where we are now. So it's proof that the gods, even though people are faulty and they may be unforgiving sometimes, the gods still forgive, and they're willing to accept you back and do great things in your life. And now those people, I told someone that now those people that kicked me and booted me out of the Facebook group follow me now. So it's kind of strange and weird how things worked out. And not in a bad way, but it's just how it turned out to be. And we have reached where I wanted to go. You guys remember this place. So I say all that and tell my story because someone wrote to me. Someone wrote to me and said that they have experienced a similar thing recently. That they went to express themselves in a Facebook social media group and they were rejected. And harsh words were said for them giving out information about what they believed. They told their personal practices, they told their beliefs, and they were met with rejection. And the person told me that they were met with such hard rejection that it really upset them, and they left the spiritual path for 6 months. They didn't even want anything to do with the gods for 6 months. So what are we doing? What are we doing to make people so ashamed that they literally just say forget it, and they don't even want to have anything to do with the gods? Is that really doing anything for our community? Is it really? Because turning people away is not doing any favors to the community or the gods. There's a reason why people come to Hellenic polytheism and see what it's about, because they're genuinely interested in learning more about the gods. And people, being people, can make it not seem as beautiful as it really is for the ones that know how beautiful the spiritual path can be. So we have to just watch ourselves and be mindful of the things we say and do, because you could be rejecting someone that could have done great things for the community and life in the world. They could have found their spiritual home, but because they spoke to the wrong person or joined the wrong group or listened to the wrong person, it destroyed any chance of that. So just always be mindful of the things we say and do, and I think that life will be a lot more beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, let's check out this river today.